And we are live. Well, first of all, Happy New Year, everybody. We are well into our 2025 weekend. So I hope everyone is having a fantastic year so far. It's been a pretty good one for me. Of course, I'm kind of the bag lady, so I've gotten a new bag, right? I want to share that with you tonight. But I hope everyone is doing fantastic. Uh, First thing I want to share with you, because it's cold everywhere, right, is the beanie, right? I got these for Christmas gifts for my children. My son likes to run outside and he doesn't really care about the temperature and he goes bike riding and I like to be able to talk to him when he's on one of his little runs or bike rides or whatever. And with this, not only does it keep his head warm, I ordered one for me too, because my head gets cold too. I walked outside one day and I had a jacket kind of very similar to this one, and my body was completely toasty. I didn't notice the temperature change at all. My ears froze to death. It was so cold. So, yes, I wear one of these all the time. They have speakers built into them. So they have this little patch on the side, and you pair it to your phone, and you can listen to music or talk on the phone or whatever else you need to do. But the sound quality is actually pretty decent. And I found it on Amazon, and I thought, what a fantastic idea. So the first one I bought was for a friend of mine as a gift, birthday gift, and he travels back and forth from California to Nevada. He has a house in both places, and so I got him one of these so he wears hats all the time, and I got one of these for his little bald head so he can. His truck has Bluetooth, but with this he can get in and out of the truck. He can go in the store, and it pairs to his hat. So he loves it. I love it. My kids seem it was a hit with them, and I just can't say enough good things about this. With it being cold right now, everybody needs one of these, right? Even if you don't use the Bluetooth function. Now, I will say I wore this for about 8 hours one day, and it kind of, I felt the pressure on my ears. So, I don't know. But it did keep my head warm, and I could listen to music all day, and so it was a win-win. Okay, enough about that. If you like if you wear a beanie, I highly recommend this one. I put a link in the description, as you guys know. So let's see who is here. Mr. Lazuka is the first to arrive. Hello, Sly and friends. Happy New Year. Love y'all so much. Love you too, Lewis. I'm so glad you're here. I love, love, love seeing the post you put up of your grandmother. It just makes me smile every time I see it. So keep them coming. All right. I believe it was Mr. Lazuka that asked me once upon a time if I had a moment. Sling, fanny pack, whatever. Well, I finally got one. Okay. And I just can't say enough about this thing. This is my new camera bag, and it's a sling bag. Now, with all my gear in it, it is a little bit heavy, but that's not the sling's fault. That's my fault for putting so much stuff in here. But it has these cool little loops on the bottom, so you can put like your tripod, or I've got my little stick in there that I put my Osmo Action on. As most of you guys know, I film almost exclusively now with my Osmo Action 5. And this little stick just slides right out. I've got it with me all the time. I've got my camera in there all the time, which I had it with me. I'll show you what I was carrying it in. I've tried several different configurations with it, and the one that I had settled on was this little job right here. It's made by TomTalk. It is, what is it, the T12M. It's the medium size. They have a small and a medium. I don't know what happened to the large, but they have a small and a medium. And this is the medium. And I love this bag, and it really held a lot of stuff. And if you guys are familiar with TomTalk, they make really good quality stuff and they don't charge a fortune for it. But, oh, there went something. Oh, so in this bag, I had to carry, because the way the pockets are inside, uh, they do have several pockets, but I carried the camera in this little DJI bag, and I carried the mics in this little DJI bag. And these came with the camera and the mic, right? So actually, I think these came with the mics. I don't think the camera came with the bag. Uh, but I just stuck them in here, and that's pretty much how I carried it. But there was no place for the stick. So I just would put the stick in the backpack, which is fine. And it worked well. It's got a handle on the back, so you can, and it's got a little wristlet type thing. I'm not really big into wristlets, but I would just pack this and then stick it in my backpack. And that's fine. It's been fine. But there are places that you can't take a backpack. So they don't mind sling bags, but they kind of frown on backpacks, like sporting events and stuff. So when I went to I went to a hockey game, and they had to examine my backpack, which held up the line. And you know how, I don't know about you guys, but when I hold up a line, I feel kind of awkward about it. And so it was just kind of an awkward type thing. So with this sling bag, I'm going to show you guys what all is in here. This is one of the discontinued colors, which I like because it matches my backpack, my Fjallraven backpack. Matches it perfect. And now, when do you need a backpack and a sling bag? Well, if I was traveling, I would carry both, right? I have two sizes of that. The smaller one is inside the bigger one. Yeah, I'm kind of insane. But it is what it is. So, anyway, with this, not only can I hold now if you had like a little tripod, you could put it in there. I think I don't even see it around here right now. But I think, it's not the one I like, but if you had a small tripod, it might be a little bit small to fit. But the sticks for like the 360 camera, they use the same kind of stick. Uh, they fit perfect, right? Or you could put a water bottle or something, if you're not into cameras, you could put a water bottle or something down there. But who's not into cameras, right? Look who snuck in here. I see you, Mr. Roy Bixby. Good day, Sly. Happy New Year. Good day to you too, sir. Uh, so you're entering into your fall, I want to say, or you're not quite there. You're still in your summer. Uh, if you need, I don't know if they have these for Australia, but if you need a beanie, highly recommend this one. It's really, really cold here, Roy, and like 17 degrees, 14 degrees, and I'm down south. So I can't even imagine how cold it is further up north, but it's cold. That little Arctic air thing is going on. So anyway, let me show you what is packed in here. I'm going to go to the overhead for this one, I do believe. If I've got enough light on it, we'll see. Okay, so starting with the front pocket is where I keep my microphones. And they've got these cute little, now these dividers you can take out, but they've got these cute little dividers and the microphones just fit perfect in there. And then I've got my little charger thing for the itty bitty mic. He just sits in there like and see so. And what else have I got in here? Oh, I did get for the mic 2, I got these little silicone covers. So it's actually a white transmitter, but I can make it black with the silicone transmitter. So that's kind of cool. So I got all my mic stuff in there. And then in the main compartment here is where I've got all the big stuff. I've got the batteries in here. I've got obviously the camera. I've got a light. over here by the camera. There you go. And a battery bank, just in case I run out of juice, which it has never happened yet. I have not had to use this. I did have to use this for my phone one day, but I have not had to use it for the camera. I've got a charging cable. Oh, the little Zedio, the little tripod thing that fits perfectly on the bottom of the, so I can set the bottom of the stick so I can set the camera down if I need to. It fits perfect, and it is so tiny. I love, love, love this thing. And then my phone. Now, the Moment makes, I guess, I don't have any of them, but they make lenses for your phones. And so this bag has got this cutout right here to where your camera, if you had one of their lenses to stick on your camera, it would just fit right in there, and it wouldn't be, so it's cut for that, which it holds my phone great, and it's got kind of a lining right there. I mean, it's kind of soft. This side is softer, which really doesn't make any sense, but uh and then in the back of this thing is a kind of a hidden pocket. This is up against your chest when you're wearing it. And then I just keep my billfold in there. So when it's empty, it's really, really lightweight. When I fill it up, it gets kind of heavy, but the way it slings on, you don't really notice it, and everything is right at your fingertips. So let's go back to me. Hello. Um, so I found this, and Lewis, I thought of you because I think you're the one who suggested it, and you were spot on. It also comes with a I guess it's a little key lanyard, but it comes with a cleaning cloth, and it's attached to the little key thing. So, which is fine because I don't use it for keys. I just hit the wrong button. Uh, so I just keep the battery thing in there, and I just dump my keys in, and it's fine. But this, it actually, it works better, and it's easier to pack out than the Tom Talk. So with the Tom Talk, I'd take this case out and have to open it, this case out and have to open it. And with this, it's just the camera's just right there. Just boom, take the stick, stick it on there, and you're ready to go. So it's very fast. Now, I know a lot of you guys don't shoot with action cameras, but that has kind of become my go-to because they have come so far with action cameras, and I'm very invested in the DJI ecosystem, and everything pairs together. I don't need any receivers. I just have my little transmitters, get my light back in there, and and then zipper it back up, and then everything is right there. And that's all I need. And I can take this in anywhere. Now, some places do get a little upset with you for filming, but it's okay. I can still take my camera in. And if I'm sly enough, I can catch that. How I did that play on words. I can film if they're not watching. So, Roy says, a beanie to prevent a burnt head from sunburn. Did I lock up? It looks like I did. I don't know. Yeah, don't know what's going on there. I may have locked up. Sorry. Yes, you could use it to prevent sunburn. See? You have to be thinking. And there's Randy saying hello to everyone. Let me see if I can. Nope. Okay, I don't know what's going on. This camera seems to be working okay. Let's see. I don't know, folks. Oh, I don't know. Hey, Randy, how you doing, bud? Royce says, we really don't get fall or spring here. just hot or wet, frozen screen. I'm enjoying a pleasant 30 degrees Celsius right now. That must be, I'm thinking around 50-ish, 55-ish. Yes, that would be a welcome change. So, anybody know how to unlock a screen? Roy says, yeah, frozen screen. I don't know how to unlock that. It says I'm still live, so that's good. Let's see. How do we go about unlocking? Randy, you know how to unlock a screen? Roy's saying good day to Randy. I may have to call 911, guys. Let's see. Randy, if I call you, you gonna answer your phone? One moment, please. We'll see if we can get this unlocked. Okay. We're calling the SOS number. Oh, no, he's got his phone off. Okay. Randy, I just tried to call you and it went to voicemail. So, let's see if I can do something. Uh, okay. Back to main. For whatever reason, it is just froze up, guys. I tried going to a different scene. Let me see if I can figure out what it is doing. I don't know. So I can put you on the overhead camera. It seems to be working. There we go. But there you go. I'll put the sling bag down there. Roy says text add-on still working, just the camera image froze. Yeah, but how do I get it to unfreeze? That's the question. I honestly don't know. But it still looks like it's frozen. So yeah, the texts are still working. So this may be a very, very short live. Okay, I'm going to try something. Guys, I'm going to try to fix it on the fly. So bear with me. We'll see if... I think it's Ecamm, honestly. I don't think it's the camera. But I will try to restart it and see if it comes up. Did that work? Could it be the camera itself? Off, on? So I just did that. I just turned the camera off and on, and the screen is still frozen. So because the other one is working, I'm assuming that it has something to do... Okay, let me try something else here. I think this is the one for this camera. Yep. Okay. There we go. Okay, so I figured it out. It was the the card, the capture card. So, Jim, if you're watching or if you watch this later, this is what I tell you. Every single time you go live, something will go wrong. So it was the capture card. And for whatever reason, it froze up. I do have more, but they are in a chest all the way over there. So if it freezes up again, I will get a new one and put in it. But yeah, if you have a second camera and there's nothing wrong with it, it's either Ecamm, which it wasn't Ecamm's fault at all, or it's your capture card. Because I did try turning the camera on and off. And what was interesting is the camera the part I see was still working just fine. So it was totally the image going into the computer. An adventure in gremlins. Well, yes. Yes, you always have gremlins. Whenever you have a live stream, something will go awry. I promise you that. Um, so it is what it is. I actually had bought this. You know me and bags. I like anything. I don't know. I'd started to say with a zipper, but no, some of my bags don't have zippers. They just have clips or whatever. Uh, but I got this Ulanzi bag thinking that it would be great to hold my camera in, right? And then I could just put this in my backpack. This is supposed to take the place of the one that comes with the Pocket 3, the Osmo Pocket 3. Um, it doesn't work so well for the Action 5 and microphones and yada yada yada. So the Ulanzi mics that I got them right before New Year's, so last maybe 10 days ago. I keep them in here, and guys, they work actually pretty good. I filmed Christmas with them, and there is nothing wrong with the sound quality of those. Now, if you compare them to like the mic 2, there's a little bit of sound difference. But if you're not comparing them, like one clip from this and one clip from that, just boom, 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 you can't tell. I edited the whole Christmas video and everything was fine. So they do work. And that was shot with the M6 Mark IIs. So I didn't use my phone. I actually used the M6s and had two of them set up on tripods like I always do. And you have to go over every 30 minutes and hit the button again because, you know, Canon is Canon. But when you live in that ecosystem, you're just used to it. Randy says choose a different camera. It wasn't the camera; it was the capture card. And totally. I'm not going to say it was my fault because that capture card has been working for what, 2 years, you know. So sometimes they just decide to take a break. So and there's absolutely no telling. Randy says choose a different camera. So I could put a different camera up here, but it wasn't the camera. Oh, and there he is. Hello, sir. It was the capture card. I'm not. Yeah, I shouldn't be frozen now, right? Uh huh. Okay. Yes. Yes. That's what I did. So I should be back on now, right? Okay. Bill? Oh, okay. 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 Thanks, Randy. Bye. So that's what he was saying, to unplug the capture card, plug it back in. Um, and yeah, it worked. And there is Mr. Camera Junkie himself. He is the professional live streamer. Okay. He is who I learned not to get frazzled when something goes wrong, because something will always go wrong, right? And Lewis handled it with such poise and grace that I thought, okay, it's okay. You are going to have things trip you up, and you just, if you can fix them, fine. If you can't, fine. I suppose I could have, like, laid on the desk and done it from there, but this is so much better. Roy says, you are on, or an AI version of you are on, or an AI version. Yes. And Lewis says live happens. Yes, it does. And it's okay. So I'm sure before the next live stream, these capture cards are not expensive, and this one has lasted a couple of years. So before the next live stream, I will use a new one, right? But while you're live, there's not a whole lot you can do about it other than try to fix it on the fly. And Lewis is he is like the live streaming god that, he handles everything with just, okay, well, that screwed up. Let's try something else. So thank you. Thank you, Lewis, for being such a good teacher. I noticed that last Saturday night, I play cards now on Saturday night, and so I missed it, but it is on my list of ones to go watch because I think you were in a teaching mode, and I love those live streams where you teach everybody something. So, and you have no idea how much you touch the people who watch you. Roy says, now I want to see on the desk version, right? Well, instead of seeing my hands, I'd have to lay on it just, yeah. And I could do that, but I might not be able to get up. So, seeing as how I am, here by myself, I would have to call 911. Can you come please raise me up off the desk? So, it wouldn't be a pretty sight for anybody. But I think Florida is getting some cold weather as well. Lewis, you are down South Florida. From what I understand, northern Florida is chilly. And Lewis is saying thank you. Yeah, you have no idea how much I have gleaned from your live streams and it's just, I have seen you lose a microphone. I have seen you have had several oopsies, and you just continue on. And so that's kind of what I tried to do. In case you weren't here, I froze up a little bit ago, and it was the capture card. So if it does it again, I'll have to change it on the air. If it doesn't, then I will change it for next week, because apparently it is getting old. And they do. They're 20 bucks. They're not supposed to last forever. So it's all good. So what else do we have? Okay. I think that I've got a new bag coming tomorrow. It's actually coming from 4 a.m. to 8 a.m. I don't know who they hired to deliver between 4 and 8. And I didn't really need it between 4 and 8. But that's just when they offered to deliver it. So I'm like, okay, who am I to screw things up, right? But it is a packable backpack. Now, my go-to packable backpack is the Wandered Veer, and this one is made by Trip Travel Gear. If you guys are not familiar with Tripped, they make some really good products. It's a husband and wife that travel for a living, and they have come up with, okay, we travel, but we don't like to have to carry this, or and so they have made packing cubes, and I have one of their, one moment. I didn't think I'd be talking about this. One of their tech pouches, right? Now, I have a lot of tech pouches, okay? And I have a lot of Ulanzi because I really, really like Ulanzi products. They make really good stuff. Tom Talk makes really good stuff. But this was such, how I am about colors. As you can see my wall of color back there, I like colorful things, right? And when I saw this, I thought, ooh, it's not here. I actually have a backpack that is this color. And this one is made a little bit different than some of my other ones. I will compare this to probably the Tom Talk and the Peak Design. Yes. Which, spoiler alert to you guys who are on my live stream because you've been so faithful, I'm not a fan of the Peak Design. uh, like the what do they call these? Accessory pouches. Um, and I'll tell you why in the video, but the Tripped actually is my favorite. The Tom Talk, I really like their stuff, but I like this one better. So, a little spoiler alert, when the video comes out, you guys already, you can fast forward to the end because this is my favorite. Yeah. So, and price-wise, I think the Tom Talk is the least expensive, the Tripped is in the middle, and then the Peak Design is on the high end. Um, but everybody raved about the Peak Design, and so, of course, I had to pick one up and see what it was about, and it'll probably be going in a giveaway, just because, yeah. Oh my goodness, Roy, super chat at $20. Roy, you are the best. Thank you so much, sir. That really, that really made my night. It has been kind of a hard day. I lost a friend today, and so I was going to tell you all about him, but thank you, Roy. That really makes me feel good. I appreciate that. I've been weepy all day, so don't get me weepy, okay? It happens, guys. Even Sly gets weepy once in a while. Not very often. Not very often. But he was a good friend. So, so what is new with you guys? What maybe your New Year's resolutions? Are you going to get out more? Somebody told me, and I really believe it to be true, that, and he was an older gentleman. He died in his 90s. And he said, you just got to keep moving. And at the time, he's been gone about 10 or 15 years. At the time, I just kind of thought it was okay, well, that's cute, you know, whatever. He came up with Tulsa has like these marathon run type things once a year. And he came up with his own run. And it was always to raise money for a good cause or whatever. And the slogan was, you got to keep moving. Well, the older I get, the more I realize how accurate that is. Because I have a lot of friends that have trouble moving, have trouble getting out of a chair. And I tried this balancing thing that I thought, that is so easy. Anybody can do that. And I actually, when I began, I actually had trouble more on my right side than my left side. My right side was apparently a little bit weaker. Not a lot, but, and so it doesn't take 2 or 3 minutes a day, but I have been practicing my balance, right? And you have to keep moving, because if you just sit in a chair, you're going to lose the ability. And so as I enter into the twilight years, I haven't made it through the door yet. I'm just at the door knocking on it. I don't want to be one of those people who can't get around when she's 80, right? So I want to be like my aunt she swam 3 or 4 times a week, and at 80, she looked like she was in her 60s. So that's my inspiration. But thank you again, Roy. Randy's saying hey to Roy. New lenses for the Nikon DSLR cameras. Randy, I really like that S9. I wish it had a flippy up screen instead of a flip out, but they're harder and harder to find. Everybody's making them with flip out, and it drives me insane when someone is looking off to the side throughout the entire video, right? I don't think you must look at the screen very much, because you seem to be focused on talking to the camera. So, but yes, new lenses for the Nikon cameras. And there's Carlos. Hey everyone. Hey Sly. Hope all is well. It has been I don't have very many weepy days, but when I lose a good friend, it kind of sets the mood for the day. So it's been kind of a weepy day. I will tell you all about him here in a minute, and I will try to get through it without tears. Roy says to Randy, and some updates for cameras like the D50. Some firmware updates. I can read. So that is one thing. If it wasn't for YouTube, I wouldn't know about all the firmware updates, right? DJI has come out with a few, and I think if you're on their mailing list, shouldn't they send you an email or something to let you know about this? But you actually have to log into their little app, and it'll tell you what you're logging in with needs a firmware update. But so I guess it's a good idea to log in every once in a while. Roy says, lost my favorite uncle last week. Oh man, yeah, it's hard. It's part of life. I get that, but it's not the most pleasant part. And I'm sorry for your loss, Roy. Uh, Carlos says, give us the tear, Sly. I do not get weepy very often. Um, yeah, sometimes I'll go 2 or 3 years without a good cry, but this kind of hit me hard, and so we're gonna muddle through, um, because that's the kind of person he was. He would muddle through. I guess I'll go ahead and tell you about him. Um, so he was quite a bit younger than I am, but I used to be his boss for several years, and I met him at Lowe's. Uh, I just lost everything. Okay. No, I didn't. You're still there. Okay. Um, so at 17, he was an all-star football player, right? Had scholarships to several different colleges. Real tall, like 6'3". Um, nice looking kid. And he got dehydrated at football practice, and he had a massive stroke. Um, so years of rehabilitation and what have you. Um, and fast forward, 15 years, and then I met him at Lowe's, and I have always been gravitated towards people with very, very, very positive attitudes. That's who I like to surround myself with. Very upbeat. And this kid, excuse me, this kid, the stroke left his right side paralyzed, and so he had years and years of rehab and therapy and this, that, and the other. And I guess when you have a massive stroke like that, it affects other organs, and so because of the stroke, he had several issues going on, health issues, and it affected his brain, and so it was he couldn't read or write anymore, um, and his right hand was permanently in a fist, right? And he would like pry the fingers up to hold on to something. But I have never met anyone with such a positive attitude, and the boy would do anything I asked him to do, and he just to give you an idea, he was such a great football player that the high school retired his jersey number, right? That doesn't happen very often. And but it was his outlook on life that he just he didn't couldn't conceive failure, right? So he would try anything and never had a harsh word to say about anybody. Just really a great soul. So my hat is off to Robbie. His name was Robbie, and he will definitely be very missed. So, all right. Let's see here. There is Mr. Scott. Made it. Fell asleep, but I made it. Yeah, Scott, I've been noticing that I've been doing a little of that dozing myself lately. Because it's cold outside, the house is nice and warm. I get my little comfy sweats on. I put my blanket around me, watch TV, and next thing I know, I'm waking up and it's like 2 episodes later, right? So it happens. Uh, Ellis Jake Hudson, hello. Well, hello to you, sir. You're new? We're kind of all family here from all over the world, right? So, where do you hail from? Are you into cameras or bags or just like to chit chat? You know, Roy says nanny naps. Oh yeah, yeah. I have become. I never ever used to take naps in the afternoon. Uh, Even when my kids were little, I'd lay down with them, and then once they were asleep, I'd get back up and clean the house or do whatever I needed to do for the next wave when they woke up. And I've never really been a nap person, but I have noticed when I get all warm and cozy under that blanket and I'm reclined back in my chair, it happens. It's happening more. Well, it never used to happen at all. So I have noticed that I'm starting that nanny nap phase, yes. But, so yes, Ellis, uh, Jake Hudson, do you want us to call you Hudson? What do you, Husden. Okay. You tell us what you would like us to call you and where you're from and let us know something about you, right? Everyone here is welcome. So, for, I should not do that because it makes things bounce. For the new year, I plan on making YouTube more of a priority. There's a lot of things, there's a lot of bags. My daughter got me on a site called Reddit. Don't really understand it. I'm trying. But I didn't understand Facebook 25 years ago when I started on Facebook either. So I am trying to learn it. But one of the things that I have noticed is that there's a whole slew of people that don't know a whole lot about bags or a whole lot about cameras. Now, I'm not the go-to on cameras, okay? It took me quite a few years to figure out that I'm kind of an action camera girl. Not because I'm so actiony, but it's just the size, the form factor. I do still like my other cameras, like for live streaming. Obviously, I don't think you'd want to live stream with an action camera. I'm not even sure it's possible. But, so I do see there is a need for other type of cameras. But there is also kind of a niche for bags that a lot of people don't. It's YouTube is a platform for me to buy the bags and tell other people about them, and then they'll know whether they want to spend their money, right? That's kind of what I've come up with. So for 2025, if you thought I was the bag lady before, you're going to see more of that, right? And all kinds, not just backpacks or sling bags or tech pouches, but all kinds of bags. Pretty much if it has a zipper or a flap or I'm trying to think what some of my other bags have. Most of them have zippers or flaps. Yeah. So that's going to be the 2025 resolution is more videos. So, Lewis, you're still knocking it out of the park with your live streams. I think you're up to what, 214, 15, 16? I've lost count. But that's impressive. And Carlos, you're knocking it out of the park with your videos. Very, very proud of you. Jim has started a new channel. I think everybody, Ellis, you may not know about Jim Out Loud. He's one of our regulars, and he has started a new channel. So, check him out. If you're new, check out Boca Bushido. Am I saying that right? Bokeh Bushido. Yeah, Boca. I think is Boca Bushido. I think so. I don't know. Okay, Carlos says it sounds like he was truly a remarkable person, someone whose outlook on life deeply influenced and touched those fortunate enough to be around him. You have a way with words, dude, because yes, that totally sums it up. I mean, there's no one that knew Robbie. He always had a smile on his face, and he would always make you smile, right? And he didn't have a filter, right? The stroke, and this is very, very, very common with people who have had massive strokes, they lose the ability to filter, right? And so when he'd see you, he'd just give you a great big old bear hug, right? There were no boundaries. And he had such a good heart. He never did anything inappropriate, but he just had that way about him. I mean, everything was an adventure, and you just can't help but smile when you're around people like that. So I can't tell you how many times I would ask him to do something that, because I have the use of both hands, in my mind, you would have to have both hands to do something. Not with Robbie. Like I said, he was a big guy, but he would take his fist and he would uncurl his fingers and wrap them around something. And then, of course, the first thing they did was try to snap back. So he's got a handhold on that. And then he'd take his good arm, and there wasn't anything he couldn't do except read or write. So I did a lot of that for him. But it was just his attitude. I don't know. He's definitely going to be missed by everybody that knew him, and it's unfortunate that the people who hadn't met him yet didn't get to meet him. Roy says, great, now I don't have to worry about a filter anymore. Well, if you have a really positive attitude, then no, I don't guess people do. My mother, she lost her filter at about my age right now. About, I think it was like 22 years before she passed. And unfortunately, she did not have such a positive attitude. And so she would say things that I thought would get me killed at times. Um, so, yeah, it's great to not have a filter if you have a positive outlook, right? My mother, unfortunately, did not have such a positive outlook, and she would tell you exactly what she thought. And sometimes filters are good, so they don't hurt, so you don't hurt people's feelings, right? Especially large people that you don't know. Yeah, she put me in a pickle a time or two, and I would just wheel her wheelchair a little bit faster. So I definitely like surrounding myself with people who are um, definitely on the upbeat and positive end of the spectrum. So, but thank you, Carlos. That was very nice of you to say. And Roy, have you ever had a filter? Did you have one before? Actually, I like Roy's wit. He's got a very special outlook on things and knows so much. It's just amazing. Um, but guys, I think we're gonna wrap up tonight. I did put a picture of Robbie for my outro tonight. I want to dedicate this episode to him, and I hope that when I touch people's lives, I hope they remember me as fondly, um, because that is his legacy, right? You don't talk to anybody who remembers Robbie that uh, doesn't remember how upbeat he was and what a positive outlook. And if someone who can go through that many trials and tribulations, and he had a lot, um, he walked with a limp. He did learn how to rewalk. He had to learn how to rewalk again, and he did walk with a limp. And like I said, his hand was permanently clenched in a fist. Uh, if somebody that can go through that many uh, trials and tribulations in their life could still be positive, then why should it be hard for the rest of us, right? Randy says, my mother would say the wrong thing at restaurants, and being embarrassed and worried that I may get poisoned for retaliation, right? Yes, that was my mother, right? She would say things to people that she had no business saying to them. And, it was just like, really? Walking is overrated. Well, that's why I'm doing the balancing thing because and I do stairs, and there's like tricks that you can do, like tightening your core muscles before you go upstairs, and changing your posture, and things like that. So I am working on it because I want to be the 80-year-old that can still play soccer. Okay. Randy says, "Good night, everyone. Take care and have a wonderful week. Stay positive. Cheers." Yes, that's that's 2025 is going to be the year of positivity, right? So, guys, we will do this again next Tuesday. And like I said, I've got a couple of bags coming in, and Carlos says, "Totally relate, Randy. My dad was like that. I always wondered if there was some funny business with our food, right?" Um, my mother actually got kicked out of a restaurant because of the service, and she was asked never to come back. And she was probably 78 at the time, right? So filters are good if you are not always positive. Uh, in Robbie's case, he was always positive. He always had nice things to say about people. And so he was one of the few people that didn't need a filter. So rest in peace, Robbie. We miss you. And I will see the rest of you guys next Tuesday, same time, and I'll show you about some of my new bags. So take care, everybody. Have a great week, and I'll see you next Tuesday.